Hello guys, it's Uzumaki What If, and welcome back to a new series called Naruto of the Shinju, so without any further ado, let's start. A 4-year child is running from the streets. People throw anything at him, from stones to various weapons. He cried for days non-stop as he saw those piercing eyes staring at him, wanting him to vanish from his very existence. What did I do wrong, he thought. The young Naruto was crouched at the corner of a street crying excessively. Hours passed. He successfully got into the orphanage where some kids would throw hateful glares at him, sometimes bullying him excessively. Only time will tell when it would stop. He always wondered why people treated him this way. He prayed that someday, he would be saved by something, or someone else, paving way for making this misery disappear in his life for eternity. Naruto slept that night with dried tears in his eyes. When morning came, some of the people in the orphanage would just ignore him, reluctantly giving him food. When he began to shove piece by piece into his mouth, other orphan children glared at him. Some bullies have gone near him and thrown his food down, making him hungry for the rest of the day. In order to evade the bullies, he ran outside the orphanage and managed to avoid them all. As he paced the streets, he saw those hateful glares again. Suddenly, an angry group of mobs have beaten him with their canes, not caring that the poor boy is bruised and wounded all over. A few hours passed, and he was left lying on the street, too weak to walk over. With determination and strength, he managed to get up and running, not knowing where to go. 2 years passed, and he was now in the academy. Why did the third agree to let this demon become a shinobi? A random parent of a child stated. Those hateful glares. I see it again, Naruto thought. He made his way into the academy and sat on one of the chairs. As he sat, he saw a raven-haired kid surrounded by several girls, shouting, "Sasuke-kun, Sasuke-kun." He was so annoyed by these antics that the raven-haired man decided to ignore them. A few minutes later, a teacher arrived, introducing himself, "Welcome to the academy. My name is Irika Yumino and I would be your instructor until you graduate. So, do your best and pass so that you may become a ninja. Now, let us start." As Irika started the lessons, Naruto was bored until he drifted off into a night of sleep. He was woken up when an eraser was thrown onto his head, startling him up. "How many times do I need to tell you that you listen to your lessons?" Irika said angrily. Naruto then saw those glares that he remembered not so long ago. Reluctantly, he forced himself not to cry and just nodded at Irika's command. Days passed, and he still hasn't made friends. One day, some kids named Choji, Shikamaru and Kiba befriended him. Now, he was extremely happy that he made new friends. Yet, even with this type of improvement, his classmates would always call him a dope and even a failure. He was now known as a dead last. One academy student even managed to bump him on his shin intentionally in order to let Naruto know his place. "Now, it's time for you to spar. Sasuke and Naruto, please come forward," Irika said. "I'll surely beat you, Sasuke," he thought. Naruto threw a series of punches and kicks at Sasuke, yet he managed to dodge them. When Naruto kicked him, Sasuke disappeared into a poof of smoke, replaced by a wooden log. Little did he know that Sasuke was on his back. And before he knew it, Sasuke kicked him on his back. He fell to the ground and he was defeated. "That's for you, loser. You will never win against Sasuke-kun," a fangirl shouted. "Naruto, your kicks and punches are not good. Sasuke's are the best, so I suggest that instead of playing pranks on other people, focus on your well-being first," Irika said flatly. Naruto slowly got up and he saw Sasuke gaze at him with incredibly cold eyes of hatred. Classes have been dismissed that day, and Naruto, determined to make new friends, joined the test of courage by other academy students, yet he was easily beaten up into a bloody pulp. When he got home, he was surprised that there was the third waiting for him. "So Naruto, how's your day? Have you been doing well in the academy?" he asked. Naruto forced a grin and stated. "Well, of course. I've been doing well. What are you doing here, by the way?" "I was just checking on you, and because your allowance is running out. I'm giving you allowance, albeit higher this time." "Thank you so much, Gigi." Sandame smiled and he got out of the apartment as he said goodbyes to the hyperactive child. "I'll make sure that the kid doesn't know who he was," he thought. Naruto was late for class and Iruka scolded him. As he made his way into his seat, he was tripped by a student. "Why did you trip me?" "I didn't trip you. You were the one being stupid." "Oh, you are not only stupid and clumsy, but you are also a worthless, dumb person," Shiro stated. "Enough you two," Iruka intervened. "I have to admit it, but he's right. Now, get out of the classroom as I don't want to see that stupid face of yours." Naruto didn't have time to argue and with that, he stormed out of the academy. "Why do people treat me this way? What did I do wrong?" Iruka-sensei, too. His glare is the same as those people. I pull pranks for them to recognize me. I guess it wasn't enough. Even Gigi doesn't tell me who are my parents. I guess I'm really worthless. Naruto didn't go home that day. As he walked, those glares are there again. He cried and cried while walking. Night came, he still wandered the empty streets of Konoha. "Oh, so there's the demon child," a group of men shouted. Upon hearing this, Naruto decided to run for his life, yet the men were too fast. He was punched and brutally kicked in his guts. One of them stabbed him. Naruto pleaded to stop, yet they weren't listening. As he was bleeding heavily, he pretended to be dead. As doing so, he felt those men leave him. Weak though, he managed to get up and run. Not knowing where to go, he got out of the gates of Konoha and randomly went anywhere, just to get away with the very people who assaulted him. Fear was now on his life and he was left tired and lethargic. He was now far in Konoha. Bleeding heavily, he crawled and crawled. Desperately clinging to life, he continued to crawl towards a cliff. He saw silhouettes and at first he thought there were people, but he realized there weren't any. Thinking that he was safe, he continued. Tired and hungry, he crawled towards a nearby tree and sat down. "I want to be strong. I want to be feared. I want to be powerful," he thought. He wanted to make the very people who made him suffer. But how could he do it if he doesn't have power? "I will not die like this," he shouted. He forced himself to stand up and held on to the tree. Now, this tree he leaned on was extremely tall and huge. It was otherworldly, and the very presence of the tree is exceptionally overwhelming. With blurry vision, he looked up at the tree and saw that it has huge, glowing fruit. It fell down to the ground and rolled near him. Naruto picked up the fruit and eyed it. The fruit is glowing with a bright white light. The fruit is as big as an apple. Weak and hungry, he decided to eat it. He had bitten it out hungrily and proceeded to swallow all of it. He continued to eat until there was no more. Suddenly, he felt a strange sensation in his body. "What is this?" he thought. Overwhelming energy encompassed his very form. His blonde hair became extremely long, it had reached the ground. His whisker marks disappeared, and his complexion became pale. He grew 2 horns on his head. His eyes became a pale lavender in color and he grew a 3rd eye on his forehead. The 3rd eye has swirls and it has 8 tomo in total. And lastly, instead of his tattered clothes and wounds, it was replaced with an extremely long, white kimono with several tomo on its rims, just like the one Kaguya wore. Underneath his kimono, he had a white hakama and he wore shoes that are pointed on their tips. Naruto's head ached and 1,000 years' worth of knowledge soured through his head. Armed with slight omniscience, he declared, "Now's the time to make you suffer." He levitated and flew amongst the mysterious dark skies of the night. At Konoha. Where is Naruto? The third shouted. Master Hokage, we haven't seen him anywhere, Umbu stated. Naruto, where are you? The third thought. Soaring high on the night skies, Naruto stopped and contemplated anything that has happened to him. He looked at his hands and he saw his nails grow longer and they turned black. He descended to the ground and walked by near a river. To his astonishment, his appearance is still human but a completely different one. He felt his overwhelming chakra leaking out from his body. And aside from that, whenever he walked, his extremely long hair would trail down the ground. A group of bandits saw him and they attempted to attack him. Before they could attack him, out of instinct, Naruto's hair raised and began to stab them into pieces. Seeing this, the other bandits fled but Naruto grew accustomed to the deed he has done, and decided to murder the remaining ones. I didn't expect that I would be this powerful. I still don't know what my real power is, so I'll just stay out of Konoha in the meantime. I don't want that old man to know that I'm more powerful than him now, he thought. Inspecting the bodies of the dead bandits, some of them were still alive yet incredibly wounded. He touched the gravely injured ones and a black mass enveloped them. Naruto felt all of the life force of the bandits transferred into him, thus energizing him. Then, the bodies turned to ash and they were no more. Naruto laughed and laughed at the prospect of him being powerful. He then proclaimed, "Chakra is mine alone." A few days passed, and the Umbu continued their search, yet there was no sign of Naruto anywhere. The third Hokage was incredibly worried that maybe someone has kidnapped Naruto and extracted the Kyuubi from his body. He sat in his office, scratching his head over the difficult situation. Then, he heard a knock on the door. "Come in." It was Irika who entered. "I'm the reason why Naruto is lost." Hiruzen, upon hearing this, questioned him. "What do you mean you're the reason the kid is lost?" "I scolded upon being late and having a random student tripping him. I didn't even listen to Naruto and I drove him out. I was so foolish." "How did you know that the student intentionally tripped him? Did you know?" "No. Shiro confessed it to me upon hearing that Naruto was lost." "I see," the third answered solemnly. "I'm giving you a mission. Find Naruto and bring him back here safe and sound." "Yes sir," he replied. "Minato, Kushina, please forgive me. I pray that nothing has happened to your son. I will continuously blame myself if something happens to him." Naruto was flying again and he decided to explore a little bit. He learned that he could mask his chakra so that no one, even censor or not, could detect its presence. He returned to his original form, yet the third eye on his forehead still remained. That's why he decided to wrap it up with a turban. It also diminished his ability to use powerful techniques, yet he could still fly and use some awesome ones. As he was flying, he saw a child being glared at by some monks. "So, I'm not alone, huh? Those glares, they give it to that kid, too," he thought. Masking his presence, he flew near the temple and listened to the shouts of monks at the poor kid. "Get away from here, you demonic brat. You're just like your father," a random monk shouted. Sora ran outside of the temple and sobbed continuously until he felt someone walking towards him. He turned his head and saw Naruto staring at him. "Who are you?" "So, you're here to beat me, too?" Sora asked. Naruto didn't answer. He could see hatred in the eyes of this kid, hatred of the people who scorned and threatened to kill him. "What?" Naruto smiled, and he was finally getting interested in this kid who is the same age as him. Sora threatened that maybe this kid would kill him, and decided to throw some attacks at him. As he was about to attack, Naruto cut him up. "Don't. Unless of course, you want me to kill you," he said calmly with an air of dominance. "What do you want?" Sora shouted. He then attempted to attack Naruto, only to be thwarted by Naruto's answer. "I've already told you, and I don't like repeating myself. I didn't do anything, just leave me alone," he finally stated. I know what true suffering is. Suffering is when you experience unpleasant things, are scorned, and feel that your very existence is an eyesore to anyone. Those glares that you have received are the same as the ones that I've received. But you, in that situation, wanted revenge, isn't it? Naruto asked. Who are you? Sora asked suspiciously. Sora followed him and they went out of the place. You will question everything you know, Naruto stated. He then proceeded to transport Sora into an unknown dimension with him and he revealed his true form. Sora felt an overwhelming amount of chakra radiating from this very person. This is impossible. How did it? He trailed off as Naruto returned to his original form and transported themselves outside the dimension. He walked with Sora silently, and Naruto wondered who this kid was. Night came, Naruto left Sora alone sleeping and he decided to investigate what was going on with this kid. He transformed into Sora and went inside the temple where Sora grew. That's all for What If Naruto Eats the Fruit of the Shinju Part 1. If you like this series, don't forget to like and subscribe and press the notification bell. It helps me upload more What If videos.